going on? What's going on, good people? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Build Your Fort with Lenthius Cheney. I'm your host, Lenthius Cheney, and today I always say I've got someone special in the room with me today, but I really have somebody special for us today. This is like a family member, like my little sister. I've got Rosalynn Daniels of Brown Hands Media. What's going on, Rosalynn?
Hey, I am so happy to finally be here. Thank you. And I just want to go ahead and let the people know that I am the most special. I'm the specialist. I am the creme de la creme of the guests.
The ultimate most specialist. The guest with the most.
I said that.
The host with the most, because, you know, she is, you know, a lifestyle specialist, a content creator, an all around hearty person. If you ask me, you know, she really knows her way around the kitchen and she knows how to entertain. And I want you guys to meet this young lady because I've watched her grow over the past few years, 10 plus years, into this mega person who's out there conquering the world. So Rosalynn, I know everything about you, unless there's something you ain't told me.
I think you know pretty much everything.
I know pretty much everything. So what I do know is that you did the pivot from corporate America into doing your own thing. And just like myself, you were working corporate America while doing your own thing with Chic Boutique Tour. What was it like for you finally making that jump from corporate America to full-time lifestyle specialist?
Oh my goodness. So it was awesome to just, leave corporate America. I knew for me personally that it ultimately being in a corporate work environment was not for me. I don't like following rules from other people or being told what to do. I'm just, my own person. I like to, go whichever way the wind blows. And that just doesn't work in corporate America. And so I knew at some point I wanted to do it. I just had to prepare to do it. And then finally, when that time came, I actually was scared to do it. And then just one thing led to another and it had to be done. And then when it was done, I never turned back. It was the best decision I ever made for me, was to leave corporate America.
So you named your company Brown Hands Media, and I know that means a lot to you. You picked that name for a reason. Give us the meaning behind your corporate name.
So when I started down the whole, ultimately when I got on my own, I wanted to have my own TV show. And in this journey, I had to start learning how to create videos for myself. And at that time, it was when those tasty style videos were really popular. And I would see them everywhere, but I noticed I rarely saw brown hand. They were all white hand. And brown people and black people, we cook. And so I wanted to show my hands. And so I went on this whole mission to learn how to do these videos and create as many as possible showing hands that look like mine. And so that's where Brown Hands Media came from.
That's amazing that you have entered the marketplace with the intention of showing brown hands in this space. And you have really taken off in a big way. You have great partners like Aldi, Stove.
Yes.
Some of the other large brands out there that people would just be absolutely die to have as a client base. Have you woken up yet? And have you thought about what this means, that you are actually out there doing the work that you set out to do?
I go to therapy for this because I have not. I was just talking about this in my therapy session. No. I know that a lot of people want to work with the brands that I work with and do some of the things that I do, but I'm not at a place yet to where I am impressed by myself. Like, so it's not enough for me right now.
Not enough.
It's not enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get
because I think working with those brands is great, but I want to while working with the brands is great, and I love that, and I would like to continue that. I think ultimately for me, it would mean more to me for the average person to know Rosalynn Daniels, for Rosalynn Daniels to be a household name, just like Martha Stewart, Rachel Ray, Oprah. Like, I want people to just mention Rosalynn Daniels like it's nothing. Oh, Rosalynn Daniels would do that. That looks like Rosalynn Daniels right there. That is what would make me feel like, I accomplished something.
I think that you would be surprised to know that you are almost there already, because I sit back on the outside looking in. It's really hard being on the inside and seeing yourself in that light. But what I see as your friend, as your brother, is that people are gravitating towards your brand because of you. And if I see a video, I know that it's a Rosalynn Daniels video because you've taken the time to perfect your craft. People don't know that you're the person that's in the background really doing the editing. Your stuff looks so freaking good that they don't realize that you taught yourself how to edit and make it look the way that it does. And you're very particular about that. That brand aesthetics is important to you. And if you were to give advice to another brand that's looking to do the same thing, what advice would you give them around brand aesthetics?
Be consistent. Decide what you like and what serves you well, and write it down and just stick to it. Just constantly do the same thing over and over again and become an expert at your look, So yeah, that's what I would say with branding. Just, you want to stand out. And I also feel like when it comes to branding and having your look, like, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that like takes time. Like, like, I don't even have a real logo. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for a while. I still just use font, because things change, and idea that you just don't know what you need when you first start out. And you don't want to waste energy, time, and money, put it towards something that you really don't know if you need in the first place. So let your brand tell you, or let your business tell you what your branding should be. You want to go into it with an idea, but for the most part, it will tell you what it needs to be.
Yeah, that's great advice. I know, again, personally, because I have an inside, what the strugglers are like for Black creators such as yourself to get the attention of the brands that you need. Tell me a little bit what that's been like for you, getting those people to come on board and do business with you, and how have you been treated in the industry as a Black creator?
Well, in my industry, so I'm in the food blogging world as well, in the food content creation world. And so honestly, like, the industry is whitewashed. Like, it's 99% of the people in the industry are white women who happen to live in Utah for some reason. And like, I don't think it was until Black Lives Matter movement that we were really recognized. Like, I know I stood out prior to that, but Black Lives Matter opened up the doors for people to really look at me more, But I think what made me stand out even before that was just the quality of content. For me, I like things to be very polished and pretty and put together. And so I just always did that. And I knew for me that my following, I don't have like huge numbers. Like, I'm not like 100,000 followers or anything, but I know I can create great content. And once I started learning the business and understanding that it took me working for a marketing company and finding out how much money brands spend on marketing for videos and photography. And then to know that that marketing company turned around and hired me and gave me pennies for what they were getting an obscene amount of money for. That's when the light bulb clicked or went on for me. Like, okay, forget the marketing company. You create exactly what you know they're looking for, cut out that middleman, and then charge them a premium price, but still less than what the marketing company is going to charge them. And know that that is your moneymaker. Like, that's what you're selling. I'm not selling my influence. I'm not selling my followers. I'm selling the content, you know?
And the followers and the influence just happens to come along with that.
Yeah, it definitely just happens to come along with it. Cause I don't know what type of voodoo magic people are doing to get the followers that they get. I'm still trying to figure it out. But what I will say is it has been slow growth, but it's been steady growth. And I can say my followers, and I hate to call them followers, but the people who are a part of my journey, they are like genuinely dedicated to my journey and learning what I have to offer. And a lot of them have been there a lot of my following have been there since my first business venture and are still here, like, you know, telling other people about me and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me how many people are doing. Let me tell you, remember when I was on that radio show?
Yes.
When I did the radio for Beehive? Yeah.
Yes.
There, a lot of people from there are still following as well.
See, they knew back then. They knew that they were going to rock with you, and they're still rocking with you.
And that was such an uncomfortable situation to be in, that radio situation. But anyways, I'm glad I made it through it, and I'm glad that I got something out of it.
For sure. So I know that you have grown over the years. And again, it's so hard to interview you when you know all the answers. So I'm trying not to give the answers. But you and I talk about this stuff as entrepreneurs on a daily basis about what do we need to do to make our businesses better. And one of the things that I know that you and I both have done is that we've put people in place to help facilitate things that we're not the best at, because you can't do it all. And I know for sure that you have put people in place, and you have to pay people to do the things so that you can continue to grow. How has that transition been for you, going from doing everything yourself and being able to trust people and let them in so they can do a job for you?
Yeah. Well, I had to understand, or I don't know, like, I guess the necessity of it all forced me to really be serious about my business and bringing on other people, because I was about to, like, basically die. Like, I was working so hard, and I just never want to work that hard again now. Like, I am not in the business of starting businesses and working like my life depends on it. Like, I want to start a business for someone else to run it at some point. Like, I don't want to be a mom and pop situation for the rest of my life. Like, that is not a goal, you know? And so for me, like, it took a while, but I think, yeah, it was a necessity of my mental health, my physical health, and just wanting to grow and really put, like, narrowing down, like, okay, where do you want to go with this? Girl, you are not going to get there by yourself, you know? And the hard thing with paying people, like, that's some real mess right there. I don't care what nobody says. To be committed to paying someone a salary every single month, no matter what, it is a lot. I'm sorry. For me, it is. Okay. Like, that is a commitment. And the way I just look at it, like, even if I don't make anything, I know it's important to have, like, at least I'm making enough to pay my people, because I can't grow without them. I can, but it's gonna take it's gonna take forever. And I won't be what I want to be, and then you can't think of everything yourself. You can't be everything yourself. And you just have to understand that there are so many people out there who are more talented than you in certain things. And it's okay to let those people let their talent shine and help you along the way,
Yeah.
And so it also feels good to have people who are, as long as you're paying them, they're definitely going to be loyal to you. They should be, but to have that, to have someone who knows exactly what you're doing for your business, and to be able to talk to them, talk things through, figure out things that, brainstorm on ideas and stuff like that. For me, that's priceless.
It is.
And I think it's a necessity. I think it's a necessity for people to figure out how to make it happen. That's why I always tell people, if you're going to start your own business, don't give up your job until you hit a certain financial point where you can make at least what you're making at your job doing your entrepreneur work. Because there's things that come into play that I feel like people don't think about. And then also, I feel like you make better decisions when you're not under pressure, and you don't, you are secure in your situation. If I don't have to take pennies from somebody because I don't need the pennies. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to take every little thing that comes my way because I didn't decide to just, start a business out of nowhere. It was strategically planned, or, you know what I'm saying? So,
and that I know about you for sure. You've curated your life. I can remember, when you said that by X time next year, I want to be married, and I'd be damned if it didn't happen. Now, you didn't even have a fiance then.
I ain't even know nobody.
Didn't even much know nobody. I ain't been on date number one, but look at how you spoke it into existence, what it is that you wanted for your life and how many kids you want. And I think that I've talked you off the cliff of 5 kids. Three is it, right?
Ciao. Yeah, I was saying for the longest I wanted 5 kids, but now we know that I wanted a family of 5, not 5 kids. That's my other thing. Speak it into existence. What do you want? Write that mess down. Say it out loud. Don't be afraid. And then some type of way it just is in your head and you're working towards it. You may not even realize you're working towards it. But if you don't acknowledge that you want something, you're not going to get it. Isn't it? It's very rare that accidents happen. As far as you just accidentally became successful, that doesn't really happen. You need to, I know a lot of people look at people's careers and their success and think that. But if you really look at most successful people and ask them when did you start this journey? They're going to tell you that it was years in the making.
So Rosalynn, you chose to get into the food industry. What made you decide to do food and entertainment and put that on film for people to watch?
Well, I knew I needed to niche down. So when I first started the Rosalynn Daniels brand, it was food, DIY, mommy tips, decor, it was a whole bunch of stuff. And I knew that I needed to niche down and choose one thing. And for me, food just comes naturally. I'm a huge food enthusiast. And so it's just easy for me. And, So, and then, numbers with food does really well. So it was a no-brainer after that.
I probably went to my first taste with you. It's they've been coming to Atlanta forever. And like, okay, well, we're going to walk around, we're going to taste some food, and I'm going to give y'all a whole bunch of money to do that. But I've come to realize, especially after going to the Chicken Wing Festival, that it's really a lot of fun.
Yes. And it's like when me and Harvey retire, that's one of the things we want to do is just go around the world to different food festivals. Like that's what we do to have fun, you know? Since COVID that messed things up, but they're still going for the most part, you know, just smaller. But yeah, like food for me is just one of those things we know it's universal, but it really does bring people together in a positive way. Like when have you really, I mean, yes, people argue over stuffing and dressing or if you should put vegetables in your mac and cheese, but it's a good, healthy debate. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
positive all the time. Like, and so, yeah, like what better way to bring joy to your life than food?
So I'm a strong believer in that the things that make you happy as a kid are probably the things that you're going to end up doing if you decide you want to live a happy life doing stuff that really means something to you. What about you from your childhood? What memories do you have that you can think of that brought you to where you are today in the industry that you've decided to embark on?
Well, for me, it was more about entertaining. Like I didn't grow up in this food household or anything like that. Like my grandmother baked, but other than that, for me, it was all about entertaining. Like I love to perform. Like I vividly remember every time I would, go to visit family in Ashland, Virginia, they would like make me stand on top of the fireplace and sing Mariah Carey's Vision of Love. And I had to perform this for like, if they had friends come over, whatever, like, you know, I was that kid, the dramatic one, always performing. Where's the, like, you're not paying attention to me? Let's do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, like, it's just even into my adulthood. And I had a mom who like nurtured that and just, you know, just, I don't know, like my first TV gig was like, I had to go, they had this thing called Nauticus in Virginia and I had to go early in the morning to go film. And I remember like my mom driving me there and like telling me like, Rosalynn, this is just the beginning. You'll do this and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, my mom just always told me I would be a star, successful, just like she just always told me that. My dad, on the other hand, he's just like, I need you to be realistic. So there was always that, you know, juggle of which one of them is right, you know? But I'm proud to say that I've turned my dad into a believer. Like my dad actually, when he retires, he went to work. So
Wow.
yeah.
That
That's
is
what my old, right? He literally, like, he thinks about it all the time. He's been talking to Harvey about it. Like, he wants to work for me when he retires.
I think you had the best of both worlds. Actually, you had the dad with the realistic goals. That's probably why you ended up, you know, working a corporate job, but still pursuing your dreams at the same time. And that kind of prepared you to
Yeah.
manage what you got going on now, right?
Yeah. But I will say this, like, I mean, I do understand the necessity of it all working in corporate America. And I do see how it helps me with certain things today, you know? But I also always think about like, what if, you know, my parents allowed me to live my dream? Cause listen, I got another one real quick. Cause I used to sing and perform and stuff like that. And, there was like not a producer, A&R in Atlanta that wanted to fly me out when I was a kid to come and perform in front of their execs. And like my parents were like, no, heck no. Like it wasn't, you know, and I remember being so crushed. Like I could have been Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? But because you guys said no, like I held that over them for years. So I do understand things happen for a reason, but I will say, like, because of that, like I'm very conscious about that with my own kids. And I don't want to push my ambition and my dreams onto them. And I don't want to, well, I'm always going to protect them, but I don't want to protect them in a way that it hinders them from their greatness of what can be, like, you know. So, yeah.
So if your kid said, you know, Mom, I don't want to go to college. I want to do XYZ. I want to travel. I want to whatever. You're going to help them with that dream?
Yeah, mommy didn't go to college. I mean, I went to college, but I didn't finish. You know, my husband finished school, and I look at his life and the pros and cons that came along with that. But I also am an example that you don't have to go to college you don't have to have a college degree to be uber successful. And I hate to say it, but the most successful people I know, they didn't go to college. I know it's bad, but it's a certain type of person. I can't say that that's for everybody, you know, but, no, like I will say we're not just going to be lazy around here. You know, we're not just going to be like, which, you know, there has to be a plan. We have to have a goal. That was something I always had. I always was in the business of making money. So for me, it was just about like, all right, how do I get this? I've always wanted nicer things in life. I needed to figure out how to get that. It's not just going to come out of nowhere. And so I've just always been a hard worker. I just may not have gone down the college route. But I do write XU for my husband.
Of course you do.
Because my husband went to XU for undergrad. Yeah. And he went to UGA law. Go dog. Not just me, but go dog.
Listen.
But I rep his schools more than he does.
Everybody's upset in my household because some people in my household went to Alabama. So I've been very quiet.
Not going to hold that against Ernest. Not.
Yeah. I just have to remain quiet. I haven't said a thing. I'm on the family group chat and everybody's just like, okay, well, it's like, I'm sorry.
Well, I got a whole bit. Listen, this video I got coming out on Saturday, he does not need to see it.
Oh, he's going to see it because he sees all your stuff for sure. For sure. So, Rosalynn,
but yeah,
I love you. Thank you for taking the time to grace the audience with your presence. But before you go, I know that you've been at this thing for a long time. And I know that you've followed your dreams really, really, really hard. Before you leave, just tell everybody the reality of what this means and the sacrifices that you've had to take to be able to follow your dreams and to become the digital creator that you are today and entertainer that you are.
Well, the reality of it all is it's hard work. And the easier something looks, the harder it probably was to create it. And I think a big thing that people don't take into consideration is the business part of every industry that you're in. Every industry has its own OGs in it. It has its people, you know, who, you know, are anti, you know, whatever field you decide to go down, take the time to learn the nitty gritty, the ins, the outs, look for the OGs in that field and learn from them. And you don't have to ask them stuff. You can just sit back and watch people. Like, you know, you can learn that way, analyze things. And don't be afraid, child. Don't be afraid to ask for your worth, but also be realistic about your worth as far as your business is concerned. Because I think that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people are stuck on the, you know, ask for your worth. But one thing that I understand or that I've seen happen time and time again, I know that a lot of people put their worth for their work so high that people at brands and stuff don't want to work with them. And so your pricing of your services is really important, and you have to be realistic about it. You can be great at something, but it doesn't matter how great you are. People don't know who you are. I had a friend, Anastasia. I was upset when she said it, but it was the realest thing she's ever said to me. And it was like when I first started, it was something about how I was posting. And I was like, but Oprah and Martha Stewart don't have their Instagram accounts like this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she was like, but are you Oprah or Martha Stewart? I'm like, no. She's like, yeah, nobody knows you. Like, so until they do, you can't do the same things that they do. And that was just like profound. Like, a lot of people miss out. They cut themselves out of opportunities because they think they're so much more than what they are. And it's okay to be humble. It's okay to know that you're starting at a certain place. And I know your vision is so big for where you want to be. Get there, do the work and get there. And once you're there, then you can start demanding those astronomical things that you're demanding. But be realistic about what you are bringing. And also another thing is, as far as I think about the financial part of it all, is looking at value more than letting that value be more than monetary. So although somebody may not pay you the amount that you think you should be getting paid, if it's a good, like, think of it, is it a good opportunity, and how can you flip that to make more money in the future? You know, like, there are some brands, like, there are brands, we started it all. There are dream brands that I work with that people would love to work with. What a lot of people don't understand is most of those dream brands are not paying what people think they should be paying, especially if it's your first time working with them. You have to prove yourself. My deal with Aldi has taken me 3 years, almost 4 years to work to. I've been working, proving over and over. And when I first started working with them, they were not, like, my deal with them was not what I wanted at the time, but I knew that this was a brand I wanted to grow with. And so I kept on proving myself. And then it just built a relationship. And now we can freely talk about these numbers, and they can see that if they invest in me, they will get the most out of it, but it took time to prove that. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to say. It's just, just go in. That's what the work is, guys. That's the work. You got to build these relationships, and about that networking, whatever, people have their own little things, but you really got to start playing with people in the sandbox and seeing how they play, and then start to see if they want to play with you a little more.
Wow. So. That is sound advice, Rosalynn. Thank you for that. What's next for you before we go for 2022? What are your plans and what you have in store? Oh, so that sounds like that's going to be a lot, but go ahead.
No. Okay. So for me, 2022 is, I did a whole word, like every year, people have a word, I do a word every year.
Mm-hmm.
My word for this year is, reiteration. I was going to say like something along those lines anyway, but reiteration, like, I want to, in 2022, I've been determined to create processes, and I want to perfect them because I am desperate to grow my business and to have other people run it. And I know that cannot happen if I don't have every single thing that I do written down and perfected. Anybody should be able to come in and do the same exact thing. And so I'm working really hard to doing that. And then I'm gonna speak it into existence in 2022. I'm not gonna say maybe the end, but I mean by the end, but or completely done, but by the end of 2022, I genuinely would like to have a product of some sort. And
I've been pushing that for the longest, Rosalynn. I think you.
Oh yeah.
No, I know you can do it. So let's go ahead and say that in 2022, maybe it will be a Black Friday sale, maybe it'll be a Christmas thing, but for 2022, Rosalynn Daniels, the brand, will have a product either on an online store or on a shelf somewhere. Go ahead, say it shall be done, right?
Amen. It shall be done. It's definitely gonna be done.
Well, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm so proud of you.
I love you too.
Thank you. Thank you again for taking the time to talk with us. And we'll be in touch again soon.
Thank you so much for having me, Lithius.
Anytime.
You work hard all year long, so why not get more for your money at Experamax Midtown Atlanta? Looking for a MacBook Pro, iMac, or iPad? Don't pay full retail prices at the Apple Store when you can get the same quality products without the premium price. Experamax in Midtown Atlanta is your Apple headquarters, with everything from Apple desktops to laptops, watches, accessories, and more. Get the peace of mind you deserve and buy with confidence, knowing that all of Experamax certified pre-owned products are put through rigorous testing to make sure they deliver the reliability and dependability you demand. Experamax Midtown Atlanta makes it easy and affordable. Plus, you can trade in your old devices and get an offer right on the spot. So shop smarter and save money only at Experamax Midtown Atlanta.